15 years ago, somewhere out there, in a tiny apartment in West Hollywood, Mark Merrill and Brandon Beck would create something that would one day become the most successful video game of all time. The earliest form of League of Legends was tested in 2006, and in late 2009 in October, League of Legends was released. The game was free to play, offered 40 distinct champions, and had long-term plans for the expansion of the game's core content. Within 2 short months, League hit its first major milestone of 100,000 players. Fast forward today, and the growth of League is like nothing we've ever seen before. Unlike other games whose player bases decrease over time, the population of players logging into League of Legends keeps growing every day, and today 100 million players log into the game client every single month. It's without question the most played game ever. Will League of Legends live forever? League of Legends is not just a video game, it's a culture. In no other game on the planet can you feel more connected and part of something this big. League of Legends was created to solve a problem back in the early 2000s, developers abandoning their games and the active, passionate communities attached to them far too quickly. Merrill and Beck would use this fundamental idea to create what we now know as League of Legends, and they did that in a few important ways. First, there is much more to League of Legends than simply playing the game. There is always a stream to watch, a tournament to go to, people talking about the game, analytics to check out, a message to read from the developer, or a champion spotlight to learn from. It's easy to get surrounded by a game when there's so many points of contact between the player and the product. The client itself is the embodiment of connectivity. You can check out the news, get notifications of patch notes, connect straight to Twitch broadcasts, and purchase everything you need without ever leaving the client. As a non-executable, it means that you can always leave the client up. Even if you're not playing or simply want to multitask, work or browse the net, you end up never being too far away from that play button. As such, the League client shouldn't be underestimated for bringing all of this connectivity and access together in such a hassle-free environment. Even full-scale productions such as documentaries, diaries, player spotlights, cinematics, and movies are available free of charge, most of them from the client itself. We learn as players through the accessibility of these resources, the meta, the best champions to play, the right items to buy, and the stories of those that impact the game the most. The epic tales of Faker and Bjergsen have full-scale documentaries. You can take a virtual tour of the Riot offices on YouTube, and every tournament has an amazing storyline that makes broadcasts more dramatic and exciting. Veterans of the game have lived through all of this year after year, from the Wild Wild West Season 1, the Atmog tank meta, to split pushing, the League of Black Cleavers, 5 Sunfire Cape Evelyn cheese, changes to warding, jungling and elixirs, and the stabilization of AoE and the AD carry metas. It's so much history, and if you've been with the game for a while, it's a lot of memories and experience that is difficult to let go or drop for another game. Many of us have spent hundreds of dollars on skins, some have played over 5,000 ranked matches, and others have just enjoyed the games for years with friends. So when you combine the culture of League with the accessibility of resources and the constant updates and season content that we've been provided every single year, I think it's safe to say that Merrill and Beck have made due on their promises to create a long-lasting ecosystem for their game. League of Legends was developed from the ideas of Dota, but before it, a StarCraft map called Aeon of Strife, where players could take control of a hero unit defending one of 3 lanes. However, it was very basic, but people loved it and Dota built from it. League and Dota 2 are often seen as kind of apples in structure. However, Dota 2 does sometimes carry a connotation of being more technical and with a higher skill floor. League of Legends is all about that accessibility, the refinement, and the playability, but it's anything but simple. Through the years, League of Legends has matured into a medium skill floor, high skill ceiling type of game, I think. Moderately challenging to get into, yet extremely hard to master. While the point and clicking required to last hit creeps and use of cooldown abilities may seem approachable for new players, League is actually one of the most mentally demanding games out there, which can really draw in people with its addictive yet intense learning curve. Players must keep track of so many things, not the least of which appropriate team comps and pre-chat, item choices, farming, harassing, dodging skill shots, proper utilization of potions, map awareness, objective control of dragon, Baron and that fat-ass crab, use of summoner spells, activations from items, and so much more. But the real mastery of League of Legends has nothing to do with any of these mechanics. It's the mental component of being in a highly competitive environment. It's not easy to die in a ranked match of League, your fault or not, and not feel anything. It's also equally satisfying to do something awesome in this game, to get a kill, sneak an objective, or just outplay a bitch. The pressure to outperform your opponents creates this kind of roller coaster of highs and lows, elation and apathy, happiness and sadness. I truly believe that this is one of the aspects that can only be acquired in skill-based competitive games and an element that draws so many people to League of Legends. Developing a skill set in League of Legends requires much practice and commitment. The ranked ladder gives you the challenge and reward for getting better, buying more runes, acquiring more champions that are powerful in the current state, and learning them. Coupled with the satisfaction one receives from winning a match in League, it's pretty easy to see how the equation of League of Legends gets people logging in every day. Peer-to-peer challenge that is built around both tactical and mechanical proficiency can create one of the most addictive qualities for a game. But I think what draws so many people towards the League circles back to why the game was created in the first place, to make a game that never gives up on its audience. Currently in patch 7.8, there are 138 champions. When you have a game with so much history, it's easier to iterate towards the advancements of new gameplay mechanics because you're building off what's already there. Annie was one of the first champions in the game and her kit is as basic as they come. But today, champions like Thresh, Syndra, Talia, Rakan, they have so many things going on. The great thing about this development is that Riot is not afraid to bring in complex champions, knowing that it has a seasoned player base on its hand, adept at the basics and capable of learning new things. This is not the case for new games, and because new champions are almost always around the corner, it keeps people interested in coming back for more, especially because players know it's in their best interest, competitively, to understand what every champion is capable of. But the real draw to League of Legends in terms of interactivity or viewership is that the game is defined by execution. In League, execution is limited to your knowledge, your mind, the 4 abilities, and the 1 character you have control over. It's a simple concept in theory that is recognizable by most people, whether they see it on a stream or a friend playing it. And because the game is free with no barrier to entry, it invites so many new players every single day. There seems to be a mythical component surrounding the success of League of Legends, a game conceived by 2 dudes who quit their depressing business jobs to pursue something that they loved. It defined esports, it brought the genre of MOBA into the spotlight, and it proves that one game can stand the test of time. But will it last forever? Thanks for watching, guys. I have 5,000 Riot points to give away to one of you guys who can answer that question or share with me your most memorable League story down below in the comment section. I'll pick a winner and contact you guys directly, but don't forget to thumbs up the video if you liked it and subscribe here for more of our future content. You guys have a kick-ass day. We'll see you in our next video.